So first of all, I want to correct the old man of the clan, Andrew Mwenda Mujuni, that the construction of the standard gauge railway was supposed to take 48 months, not 4 days. So we're not yet done. That
but the
time
launch
is
was
still
in 2017.
Yeah, and of course there's a lot of trouble in Uganda when it comes to projects. There's so much power to the landowners. This guy, the investor or the contractor, needs to do land acquisition in about 12 districts, a dozen districts. There's Milo land, then there's this one that's saying I'm going, then the family members are saying we're not selling. Then after dealing with all that, they needed to construct some factories for some of the things they need to use. For example, some of the concrete sleepers and a number of things. They needed to literally put up factories first to supply some of their materials, because it's a huge project to an extent that you cannot get every material from suppliers all the time. It's a project where some of the things you must construct your own factories for the things you're going to use. So sometimes we really slap these contracts in the face, but there's a lot of pre-field work before the real work starts. There's a lot of preparatory work that takes place.
Honorable Justine, I think the question that Andrew raises is that before you get the money, have you done the feasibility? Because there was first a Chinese contractor. For 2 years. The contract was taken away from him. Then there was brought in a Turkish contract. So the question is, he's saying 20 years for a project to kick off. We talked about SGR. If I look at the president's, that was 2011.
No, what I'm saying is, some of the things that complicate the real beginning of these projects is we give too much power to the landowners. Land acquisition is a very big issue, which I would believe the land ministry should give special thought. It has affected so many projects. To fix the whole, who should I compensate, and they have compensated them and they have accepted, is also a whole nother trouble. But let me go straight to the question you asked me. And the other point of information was to the Honorable Segona. The PDM is actually working. He said that government got a few monies and threw them around and said that's our magic bullet. It has been a magic bullet, save for isolated cases of corruption that tried to blur the vision of the parish development model. But it's actually out there changing lives, especially for our people on the rural side. Now, back to the theme of His Excellency the President, no sleep, no corruption for this term. When I am judging the President's leadership, I don't allow myself to bundle him into a 40-year rule, a 40-year rule. I would expect the old man of the clan and my honorable here, Segona, to know it's better than the news talk, that by the time the president took over power, the country was in shambles. There was a rebel in every corner, a rebel group in every corner. Investment was out of the window. Indians had been trashed by Amin. Investors could not come here. The security was not a reality. Everything was not okay. So he really started not even from the bare minimum, but from negative. So if I'm ever going to judge the president's rule, I'm probably going to judge the last 2 terms, not the first 30 years. Because he had to put together everything bit by bit, petit à petit, pas à pas. And if you look at the president's approach to development, President Museveni, he has like a piecemeal, gradual kind of approach. He's somebody that does step by step. Let's fight HIV. Then let's fight polio. Then let's have all children go to school, UPE. Then let's do women empowerment. Then now let's fight poverty. Now let's have more households into the money economy. That's what he's been doing step by step. So now under the same approach, he's out here saying the biggest enemy we have, the elephant in the room, is corruption. So for this term, can we focus on no sleep? Can we have more accountability? Can we fight corruption? The only instance where I would agree with Andrew is the bureaucracies. I don't agree with Honorable Segona that, oh, all these processes are justifiable. No. First of all, if we are to fight corruption, we need to simplify procurement. We need to simplify governance. Because every other step is a chance for bribery. Every extra signature is a bribery point. This person, the supplier, has to go to over which officer, then go to which commissioner, then go under which table, then run back up which roof. You are just creating points for people to ask for more and more bribes. First of all, we must digitize most of these processes. Number two, we must simplify them and also be very open about what government is doing. For example, if possible, we could have, you know, government officials, because we declare wealth. That information should be made public, so that if somebody has not declared certain wealth that the members of the public know, they can be able to say that that person actually owns this arcade and it's in the daughter's name, but it's his. So he should account for where he got that money. I feel like we just need a more deliberate fight against corruption. For example, the other day we were in Chankwanzi, and the National Planning Authority, which Honorable Segona here wants to be given more time, that we should have like half a year of just planning and doing and doing nothing else. That very National Planning Authority came to Chankwanzi with a very well-written documents and you know, economics and all these beautiful business English terms. But I was very shocked that in the plan there was no proper framework to curb corruption, institutionalized corruption, cartels, extortionists. I didn't see it, and I was actually shocked. Seriously, I was shocked. I was like, you were the national planning. You want Uganda to look like Dubai in 15 years, which Andrew said is impossible. I feel like it's possible. It's actually possible. If corruption is fought, it can even take just 7 years for Uganda to look like whatever we may need it to look like. But we must be very deliberate on fighting corruption. So for me, I actually believe in the president, that going by his gradual, petit a petit approach, piecemeal kind of approach to development, the fact that he has been able to defeat a number of battles, malaria, polio, HIV, women empowerment, criminal elements, rebel groups. I believe if this term, his approach, he uses the same focus he has used on the other issues, we can actually curb corruption. We can actually curb it. But I also feel like Ugandans as a people need to love their country a little bit more. There's more to life than just singing the word Museveni.
Okay.
People should actually be more patriotic and just stop stealing, that's all. He was talking about Nandu too, that, oh, you see there's this whole Bambi narrative around her, but she was the line minister. If you have iron sheets of Karama Jones on your apartments and your line minister, okay, there could be other, I don't know, government officials that fell prey. But again, you're the line minister.
So why pick on her and not the others? Because there were 13 people.
I mean, she was the starting point.
The OPM is actually the starting point. The Prime Minister is the starting point.
The Prime Minister.
These were given to the Office of the Prime Minister.
Office of the Prime Minister, but under which line minister? And then at a point where everybody else was saying, okay, we were misled, I think we need to take back the iron sheets. What she did was to get lawyers who convinced her that they will justify the action of taking iron sheets for Karamoja region and putting them on her apartment.
So how do you justify that the Honorable Minister, Matia Kasaija, put them on a goat shed and said he found them in his compound and they went out? So I may not be able to justify the Honorable Minister, Matia Kasaija, but you may also not be able to justify why the line minister had the iron sheets on her apartment. Okay.